Lieutenant Watts, huh? Heading to base, you said?
Yes, sir. I just got off shift. Is there a problem?
Problem is this ID. Looks shiny, but it doesn't scan. Where'd you pick it up?
It's mine. You can verify with the base. Call the number on the back.
No need to do any of that. Turn around for me. Hands behind your back.
Wait, what? At least check it before.
Friday, January 15th, 2021, 3:22 p.m. The Bodycam activates with a soft click. The timestamp blinks in the lower right corner, 15:22:06. The lens adjusts to the afternoon light, pale winter sun cutting through scattered clouds over Interstate 295 just outside Richmond, Virginia. 4 lanes of traffic move steadily in both directions. Engine hums blend into a low, constant drone. A silver SUV passes on the left. A delivery truck rumbles by on the right. The camera sways slightly as the officer walks forward from his patrol vehicle, parked at an angle on the shoulder, light bar flashing red and blue in rhythmic silence against the gray asphalt. Ahead, about 15 feet, sits a black sedan, Virginia plates, clean, no visible damage. The driver's side door is wide open. And standing there, just outside the door, is Lieutenant Jasmine Watts. Early 30s, black woman, hair pulled back neatly into a bun. She's wearing her U.S. Army dress uniform, dark blue jacket, brass buttons catching the light, name tape visible on her chest. In her right hand, she holds a brown leather wallet already open. Her left hand is at her side, relaxed. Her posture is upright, professional, calm. The officer's boots crunch over gravel and road debris as he approaches. His breathing is audible, steady, controlled. In the distance, a horn honks. Another vehicle whooshes past, kicking up a gust of wind that rustles against the microphone. He stops a few feet from her. The camera captures her full frame now. Uniform crisp, boots polished, expression composed. She's already pulling a card from the wallet. "Afternoon," the officer says. His tone is flat, neutral. "Good afternoon, officer," she replies. Her voice is clear, professional, measured. She extends her hand, offering the military ID card along with her vehicle registration. "Here's my ID and registration." The officer takes them without comment. The camera dips as he glances down at the documents in his hand. A pause. 3 seconds. 4. Traffic continues to rush past. A sedan, a pickup, a minivan with a child's face pressed against the rear window. Lieutenant Watts stands still, wallet still in hand, waiting. She doesn't fidget, doesn't shift her weight, just waits. "What's your name?" the officer asks, still looking at the ID. "Lieutenant Jasmine Watts, sir, U.S. Army." Another pause, longer this time. The officer taps the edge of the ID card with his thumb, turns it over in his hand, holds it up slightly, angling it toward the sunlight. This looks fake. Her head tilts slightly, not defensive, curious. "I'm sorry." "This ID, it's fake, too shiny, lamination's off." The camera catches her expression, eyebrows raised just a fraction. Confusion, not anger. "Officer, that's a standard issue Department of Defense ID card. It's real, you can verify it." "Uh-huh." His tone shifts, skeptical, dismissive. "Where'd you get this?" She adjusts the grip on the wallet, thumb rubbing against the worn leather edge, a small unconscious gesture. "I was issued it through my military command, sir. It's a common access card. There's a verification number on the back. You can call it in to confirm." The officer scoffs, audible, brief. "I know a fake when I see one." The camera stays on her. Her posture hasn't changed. The wallet is still in her right hand, hanging naturally at her side. But there's a tightness now in her jaw. Controlled, professional, but tense. "Sir, I respectfully ask that you verify the ID before proceeding. There's a hotline. It takes less than 2 minutes." "That's not how this works." A truck roars past. The Bodycam shakes slightly in the wind wake. The open car door sways just a bit. "Officer, I'm active duty military. I'm happy to cooperate fully, but I need you to follow proper verification protocol." "Turn around, hands behind your back." Her eyes widen, just slightly. The wallet shifts in her hand. "Excuse me?" "Turn around." She doesn't move immediately. Her voice remains calm, but there's an edge now, control fraying at the margins. On what grounds? Suspicion of false identification and impersonation of military personnel. Sir, now. Before we continue analyzing this encounter, if you find this breakdown important, if you think these kinds of real-world interactions need to be examined closely, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And down in the comments, I want to hear from you. Where in the world are you watching from? What's your take on what we're seeing here? Let's build this conversation together. The camera shifts as the officer steps back slightly, making space. His right hand hovers near his belt, not on his weapon, but close, visible, intentional. Lieutenant Watts takes a breath, audible, controlled. She closes the wallet slowly, the leather creases with a soft sound, and places it carefully on the driver's seat of her car. Then she straightens, turns slightly, arms moving to her sides. Officer, I'm asking you again, please verify my credentials before you proceed. Turn around. She doesn't comply immediately. This is a lawful request. My ID is legitimate. You have the tools to confirm that. That's none of my business. The words hang in the air. Flat. Final. The camera captures her face for just a moment, disbelief flickering across her features. Not panic, not fear, just disbelief. None of your business, she repeats, voice quieter now. You heard me. Turn around. Another car passes, then another. A silver Honda slows down, driver glancing over, curious, concerned. The car lingers for a moment, then accelerates away. Sir, I am an officer in the United States Army. I am not impersonating anyone. I am asking you, as a fellow public servant, to follow procedure. Last time, turn around. She closes her eyes for a second, exhales. Then slowly she turns. Hands move behind her back. The car door remains open behind her, the brown wallet on the driver's seat. The camera zooms in slightly, her wrists crossed. The officer pulls a pair of cuffs from his belt. Metal clicks. Once. Twice. You're under arrest for impersonation of military personnel and possession of fraudulent identification. Her voice is tight now, strained but still controlled. This is a mistake. We'll sort it out at the station. Let's pause here. What we're watching is not an anomaly. It's a pattern, and the pattern reveals itself in the details. Notice the refusal to verify. Lieutenant Watts didn't resist. She didn't argue aggressively. She was already prepared, standing outside her vehicle with her ID ready, wallet in hand. She provided her credentials proactively. She explained the verification process. She offered a solution that would have taken less than 2 minutes. And the officer said, "That's none of my business." That phrase is critical. It's not just dismissive, it's a rejection of protocol. Standard procedure in cases of questioned identification is to verify through dispatch or the issuing authority. It's not optional, it's foundational. But here, the officer chose certainty over verification. He knew it was fake. He didn't need to check. Why? Because the ID didn't match his expectation. And what expectation is that? Look at the body cam again, rewind it. Watch her standing there, already compliant, already prepared. Watch the way he assesses her. Watch the moment he decides. This isn't about the ID being shiny, it's about who's holding it. The officer guides her toward the patrol car. The camera captures the open door of her sedan swinging gently in the wind from passing traffic. The brown wallet sits on the driver's seat, clearly visible. A small, mundane detail that somehow makes the whole scene more absurd. 3 vehicles have now slowed as they pass. One driver, a white woman in a gray Honda, pulls out her phone, filming through her windshield. She doesn't stop. The footage will later surface online, corroborating the Bodycam timeline. Lieutenant Watts walks steadily, hands cuffed behind her. Her uniform is visible in full now, ribbons on her chest, rank insignia on her shoulders. Everything regulation, everything real. Officer, I need you to understand, you are making a serious error. Save it for the station. I am entitled to a phone call. I am entitled to legal representation, and I am entitled to have my ID verified. You'll get all that. Later. The word later does a lot of work here. It delays accountability. It defers verification. It extends the humiliation. She's placed in the back of the patrol car. The camera captures her through the rear window, seated, hands cuffed behind her, staring straight ahead, expressionless. The officer returns to his vehicle, sits, picks up the radio. "Dispatch, this is Unit 47. I've got a 1015, female, black, late 20s to late 30s, fraudulent military ID, bringing her in for processing." Static. Then a voice. "Copy that, 47. What's the name on the ID?" Says Jasmine Watts, Lieutenant, Army, but the ID's fake. A pause, longer than usual. 47, can you repeat that? You said Lieutenant? Yeah, fake though. Lamination's off. Another pause. 47, did you run verification? The officer hesitates, just a beat. Visual inspection confirmed it's fraudulent. 47, I'm gonna need you to read me the DOD number on the back of that card. Silence. The camera stays on the dashboard. Engine idling, traffic passing. In the distance, through the windshield, Lieutenant Watts's black sedan is still visible, driver's door still open. 47, stand by. He picks up the ID again, flips it over, reads the number aloud. 10 seconds pass. 15. Then, 47, that ID is legitimate. It's active. Issued October 2019. Cardholder is Lieutenant Jasmine Renee Watts, U.S. Army, currently stationed at Fort Lee. The officer's hand tightens around the radio. Copy. He sets the radio down, stares at the ID, doesn't move. Behind him, through the rearview mirror, Lieutenant Watts sits, motionless. Here's where the story shifts. Because this isn't just about a mistake. It's about what happens after the mistake is revealed. The officer could have immediately released her, apologized, acknowledged the error, moved on. He doesn't. He sits there for 43 seconds. The Bodycam records it all. Silence, idling engine, distant traffic. Finally, he gets out, walks to the back door, opens it. You're free to go. No apology, no explanation, no acknowledgement. Lieutenant Watts looks up at him. That's it? You're free to go. You're not going to apologize? You're free to go, ma'am. She steps out. He uncuffs her, hands her the ID and registration without a word. She takes them, stares at him. This was wrong. He doesn't respond. She walks back to her car. The door is still open, swaying slightly. She reaches in, picks up her brown wallet from the seat, and tucks the ID back inside. Gets in, closes the door, starts the engine, pulls back onto the highway. The Bodycam footage continues for another 90 seconds. The officer returns to his vehicle, logs the stop as resolved without incident. But it didn't end there. Lieutenant Watts filed a formal complaint the same day. The Bodycam footage was reviewed. Dispatch recordings were pulled. The timeline was reconstructed. The department opened an internal investigation within 72 hours. The findings were clear. The officer failed to follow verification protocol. He escalated the encounter without cause. He arrested a service member based on visual assumption rather than procedural due diligence. And the assumption? It was rooted in bias. A black woman in a military uniform, standing prepared with her ID already in hand, didn't fit his internal image of what a lieutenant looks like. So the ID had to be fake. The uniform had to be stolen. The explanation had to be a lie. 3 weeks later, the officer was discharged from the department. Not suspended, not reprimanded, discharged. The department issued a public statement emphasizing accountability, procedural integrity, and the importance of training to recognize and counter implicit bias in high-pressure encounters. Lieutenant Watts declined to do interviews. She released a brief statement through her legal counsel. I hope this serves as a reminder that authority without accountability is dangerous, and that assumptions, especially about who belongs where, can cost people their dignity, their freedom, and sometimes their lives. So here's the question we're left with. How quickly does authority escalate when verification is ignored? How much harm can be done in the space between assumption and fact? And what happens when the person in uniform, the person with the badge, decides that their perception is more reliable than the evidence in front of them? This wasn't a high-speed chase. There was no weapon, no threat, no violence. Just a woman, a uniform, a brown wallet, and an officer who refused to check. That's the story. If this breakdown gave you insight into how real-world law enforcement encounters unfold and why procedure, accountability, and bias matter, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into critical incidents like this one. Thanks for watching.